Welcome back to Reality Inspired with Ashley Inspires. In this episode with John Woldenberg, we will journey into the heart of Burning Man, where radical self-reliance meets the art of presence. John has been to Burning Man for a few years. It was my first year, so it was great to just kind of have the mirror with him. We're going to explore the seamless weaving of the past and the present and how the playa serves as a mirror, inviting us to love what is right now, free from distractions. The takeaways for you, I want you to embrace the presence, learn how to release the mental distractions of the past and the future to fully experience this moment now. Radical self-reliance, discover how self-sufficiency at Burning Man can inspire more autonomy in everyday life, and the power of stillness and how moments of solitude can deepen our connections with others and with ourselves. So join us as we dive into these reflections and carry the spirit of the playa into our daily lives in the default world.
I think that they struggle with those decisions at the moment. Yeah. I'm not a good example of anything because I like...
Of anything?
Because I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it the way I feel, and I'm not going to let anyone else's opinions of my life shape my life.
And what does that sound like? Like if you're like, okay, I see, are you checking it out and kind of seeing what everybody else is doing? Are
No,
you like assisting?
I don't check out anything.
You're not even checking it out. You're just like, where's my next step? Where's my
Because the whole
lowest
concept
hanging
of
fruit?
checking it out means that I don't know what I want to do. Well, I'm looking for someone else's life to shape my life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not looking for anyone to shape my life. No teacher, no guru, nobody's, billion-dollar overnight, business to be my guide. Anytime you look for someone else to help you, you're handing the keys to that person.
You're giving your power away.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it about our humanness that makes us want to gossip about it, ask for an opinion, to get the validation?
It's the way the human construct was set up, is, that we seek commoditization and versus individuality. So we want to know, what are you doing so I can be like you? What are you striving for so I'm not so distant from you? As opposed to being okay with who we are.
Yeah.
It's a bizarre notion that we're 8 billion immensely different living energies that are trying to seek to be the same. We go to school, everybody's taught the same things, no matter who you are. You could be a poet, you could be a singer, you could be an actor, you could be a painter, you could be a philosopher, but you've got to learn everything the way everyone learns it. Go through the exact same steps everyone goes through. You get a grade that puts you into where do you fit in the system, and then we shove people off and say, get a car, get a house, seek to have a upwardly mobile career, no matter who you are. And so I think part of the seeking of opinions is what we made the machine, and we're putting everything through that machine in our lives, unless you break from the machine.
Right. Tell me how you break free.
You have to have an event. Yeah, I know. You have to have an event in your life that just happens.
Yeah.
And I had one in my early 20s, and it set in motion a series of thoughts that put me on the road to me. And then I've stayed there. I mean, I'm not I stray, but I know when I'm straying and I pull myself back.
Are those certain practices? Are those certain events, like going to a Burning Man? Is that part of bringing yourself back into yourself?
No, I think going to Burning Man for me is just another experience in my life. I happen to enjoy it because it's different every time, and it represents all the things in life. It's like a microcosm for life. The challenges, the need to exist amongst people you don't know, which we all exist amongst people we don't know, but we live very anonymously in the default world.
Yes.
But at Burning Man, if you're thirsty, you might ask someone, do you have any water? And they want to help you. Here, the idea of like walking up to a stranger and saying, "I'm really thirsty. Do you have any water?"
It's like, well, what's wrong with that guy?
Hey, are you a killer or are you following me
Stranger
home,
danger.
stalker?
Yeah.
Like holy shit. And so, we've built this system of mistrust, and it's something that we all live in, bizarrely, because no one likes it. No one feels comfortable in it. Everyone feels like weird, like asking strangers. We lock our doors. We, wonder who's looking in our window. We're suspect of everybody walking by. And, we're probably the only species that just fucking doesn't trust anything.
Right.
So that's a long answer.
When you're out there, you have to learn how to trust not only others, but yourself as well, is kind of what I feel like I was going up against, was like,
well, trust
am I going to betray myself here?
Well, trust, I think, I'm really focused on the words I use with myself. And I did use the word trust just now, but you are who you are. So, and you're not broken. You are who you are. The question is, how do you extract all the voices in your head to stay within yourself? Meaning, extract your mother's voice and your father's voice and your siblings' voices and your best friend's voice and your teacher in grade school's voice and someone who has walked, some conservative on TV who said, look, if you a woman and you like a woman, you're going to hell. Like, you've got voices clamoring to get into your head. So the question is, how do you extract those so that you just stay here? And the practice of just staying here allows everything you do, if you do stay here, to be the strongest connection with everything you do. Having a cup of coffee, giving someone a hug, deciding, do you want to do this or that, a job or an activity? You know that it's 100% Ashley deciding, does that make me happy? Does that make me feel something good? Or is it, my mom doesn't think I should be doing that, and my teacher said I should be more ambitious, and my best friend thinks I should be a little bit more coiffed, and my blah, blah, blah. And you're like, whoa, like, I got to weigh all those opinions before I make every decision. It's quite the decision matrix.
Yeah. The decision matrix. Ooh, interesting. And where in the Burning Man, do we call that a culture?
It's hard to describe Burning Man to anyone.
For sure. I learned that.
Yeah. It's, I'd be, naturally, I think we'll end up touching on your virgin experience. But I feel like we live in a stressed world. We choose to live in a stressed world. We fit into a box. We make appointments, every hour. We eat at 8. We eat at noon. We eat at 6. It's disconcerting if you're not hungry, or if you want to eat at 9, or if you want to eat at 10. They're like, let's have breakfast at 10. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, we already had breakfast.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of stress to snap to the grid and be in this system.
Snap to the grid.
Yes. And Burning Man is, the way I see it, it's like in the default world, most people tend to leave the default world to go visit a forest or a national park to like feel good and take a walk and breathe. Like it was so beautiful. The sun was out. We saw like the landscape was beautiful. We felt so good. Because in these places, it's ultimate individuality. There's no rules as to where a tree grows or where a rock tumbles or where leaves fall or where animals roam. It's everyone kind of coexists as themselves in a forest. When then we come back to the default world and we are upset and stressed because we're all trying to fit into this form that we created that doesn't fit really anybody. So somewhere you're not going to fit into this form. You're not, you're not as hungry, but you have to eat. You feel like you want to spend more time talking to people, but you only have an hour. Just all the things that you just have to kind of be in this world. And I kind of view Burning Man as kind of a quasi forest. People go there because it's ultimate individuality. People dress how they want, with or without clothes. People do activities how they want. There's no shaming, body shaming there. There's ultimate kindness and caring for each other. There's no victimization game there. It's everyone kind of lives in this human forest where individuality is celebrated and shared and explored. And when you come back to the default world, you lose that because you've got to wear a suit and you've got to be at work at 8 and you've got to, fill out that paperwork and you've got to do everything everyone does, no matter what, or else you fail. And even if you're an incredible thinker or an incredibly kind and warm person, you might not be celebrated as who you are if you are, if you're working in a factory and you got to process 30 widgets an hour. No one cares that you're a nice person.
Right.
Just get the widgets done. And I think Burning Man is like going to a forest. People go there to feel the joy of being themselves, and hopefully when they leave Burning Man, they walk with that feeling and they bring it back in all different ways into their life. And I find that for me to be endlessly interesting. I mean, I like every day, but Burning Man is endlessly interesting. This year was very different than the last year, than the last year, than the last year. You meet different people, you hear different things. And so, Burning Man is just another beautiful experience for me to just celebrate the way I want to be in my life and to remind me that, you can exist that way.
I love that. And what I've been saying about my virgin journey is that I got the mirror turned on me and I got to look at myself really close up. Like it was that, 3-4 times magnifying, and I was just like, whoa, like this is a lot of shit that I'm carrying, that I'm energetically feeling, or that I'm not being discerning about. And in that, and then just like the victim consciousness showing up, and I do feel like there was this journey of like I came with like so much excitement, and like I was like, I've been waiting my whole life for Burning Man. This is gonna be the best ever. Like I was ready. I have a list. I brought like 8 pairs of fishnet stockings, 17 hats, 6 pairs of shoes. Like I don't know what I thought it was going to be, John, but it was not that. Like right. I ended up wearing like 4 outfits. Because I was like, I need practical. I am in survival mode. It was really wild to just kind of witness and carry myself through that, because it felt like a medicine journey. It felt like a healing. It felt like really kind of getting shook up at my core and being like, you sure you want to operate in the world like this? You should, like, you sure? Like, I was just kind of getting little nudges, and I had the opportunity in real time, because you're faced with elements and multiple people and that want to help and want to support you, and just kind of got this, like, a bit of an exhale, like a, like you're taken care of. You're, it's not, you don't have to clutter your mind with all this other mitote. You don't have to, the Maya is not you. You are like this otherworldly radiant being that is getting bogged down by the marketplace, by all the choices, all the voices in the head from the people in your holding environment when you were a child to, yesterday on the news or whatever. So it was really, I just feel like it was like a fan, and I just got to explore this journey of me moving through time and space. And I also feel like it kind of happened rapidly. Like I was pushing myself to the limit, that like I just felt like I was collapsing timelines in a way. I was just like, oh yeah, check it. Nope, you're out. Like, just clearing the way. I'm only here for what is for me. Cut the fat. Like, and I keep saying, like, I was like, I've just been pussyfooting around for how long? Like, I'm done pussyfooting around. Like, I'm just gonna claim what it is I want and get that.
It's interesting because I'm going back to vocabulary, and you said people wanted to help me, and I think it's the opposite. I think it's you learned to be a good receiver. You learned to be self-sufficient, and when you needed help, to seek it and receive it. And it wasn't people like checking in with you. It was you navigating through Burning Man, through the challenges, the joy, the sleeplessness. And when you did need help, you sought it out.
The playa provides.
And it provided it. And I think that this is another thing about Burning Man, is that Burning Man is just a reflection of life.
Yeah.
So you come back here, yeah, it's not like a 65 mile an hour wind and a sandstorm or a rain. It's a broken relationship, or running late, or feeling like you didn't put in your best effort, or your best friend disappointing you, or feeling like you're wasting time.
Yeah.
And all those little pieces and challenges of life, you've got to navigate and be able to feel like, I can do this as me. I don't need to be like managed by someone else. And when I need help, I need to be a good receiver and be able to reach out to other human beings to be part of my journey. Because this is kind of the co-creation thing. You're here on your own, and you're here with 8 billion others. So you can't navigate everything alone, because you rely on the rest of the world to be here too. And they can't do it either. There's no one on the planet that can be alone.
Somebody else.
Yeah. And I think that the vocabulary is critical, because if you stick on the word, people were looking to help me, you're handing the keys to someone else again, as opposed to just acknowledging the fact that you're doing the navigating. You're saying other people are coming in to interrupt the problem and fix it for me, whereas you recognize the problem, you recognize the need, you seek the help, you accept the help. And that's radical self-reliance, which is part of what Burning Man is. And I think in the world, people tend to be horrible receivers. It's much easier to like walk the blind lady across the street than to say, I couldn't hear what they said. Could you tell me what they said? For if you look like you're a hearing person, like embarrassed, or you're like, you have to be able to be free of all those notions of vulnerability and of like ego, to be able to do what you do in Burning Man in the default world. And then when you speak to yourself about how you're doing it, you need, when I say need, that's the inappropriate word. I'd say the practice is to understand that you're doing the navigation.
Right.
and no one else is doing it for you.
Right.
No matter how much help you have, you're making every decision. The feelings you're having are only felt by you, and there's no one else that is doing it for you. You might have voices that you accept to contribute to your decisions, but that's you doing it. You are managing that. Your mom is not sitting in your head saying, Ashley, if you do this, I'm going to take away your cell phone. You know?
Right.
No, this is you saying, my mom doesn't think I should do this. You're allowing that to happen.
Right.
And it's how do you clear that from your head so that they still exist? Like, I'm best friends with my mom, but no matter what, she doesn't get between me and my feelings. She stays in my chat room, and I literally talk to her almost every day. And I'm lucky to be that close to my mom.
Yeah.
But she doesn't shape
She's
what
not a
makes
voice
me
of
happy.
reason.
Not in my life.
Right.
She's a voice. She's like part of my journey. She's part of my adventure. And I love that. Like many people, like I read a lot of books and go to a lot of lectures, and I have a lot of really interesting spiritual, intellectual, emotionally grounded friends. And I'm always interested in talking with them about anything. Not because I want their life to shape mine, just because I have to exist with everybody. I'm interested in their life, but I'm going to make my own decisions for my life.
Somebody asked me what I got from Burning Man, and when I just did a sound bite, what came out was, I don't like being alone as much as I say I like being alone. Because I'm seeing that, like, I wanted to live alone. I wanted to, like, challenge myself to that. I had always lived with somebody. I went from, always roommates, or I went from growing up to roommates to da-da-da-da-da. Like, I felt like I needed that sense of sovereignty, that I could do it myself and that I didn't need anybody. And in that, then I feel like there's just like this tired, exhausted feminine, because she's always just been having to do it herself. And so what ended up coming out on a vlog that I filmed at Burning Man was that I was like, I just want a man to take care of the ice. Like, I didn't get ice. My food went bad. Like, I was like, I just want someone to take care of the ice. Why? I'll take care of a lot of other things. I was like, I just didn't want to go get the ice. I didn't want to pay for it. I didn't want to go get it. I didn't want to get on my bike and ride on that bumpy road all the way to get the ice. Like, it was a nice, again, that reflection, that mirror of again, what I was choosing and not choosing to do. And just kind of, again, like, looking at that decision making and how I chose that is interesting to me.
So it's interesting you say that, because thank you very much for sharing this.
Yes, of course. I'll get down with a little cookie, especially if we're sharing.
I struggle with what you just said, because, you don't like being alone. But what is the human experience? The human experience is ideas. That's it. It's what you taste, what you see, what you touch. Again, when you touch something, there's a feeling that is sent. It's not a thing. Like, you're not picking up a glass and saying, this is a glass. You touch something, that contact sends a message, which is an idea. When you're cold, when the temperature drops, something sends a message, I'm cold. Like, we could be in the same place, you're cold, I'm not cold. So the idea of being alone, you always have the warmth of your best friend in your head. You always have the comfort of family members. You always have the joy of memories. You always have the feeling of successes and failures. Like, what is alone? Like, you're not really alone, because you're everything is just an idea anyways. What you're saying is, I need some of the sentient aspects of existence in my life. I need to have physical interaction with people, because you said someone has to go. I'd like someone to go get ice. Part of it isn't maybe just getting ice. It's the idea of having a person with you that's sharing your journey, that's in proximity to you. But if you're sitting in your own house and you're feeling down, you're thinking of like warm things, like the times you were happy with your anybody.
Hopefully you're thinking of how to feel better and not going down the
Or you're thinking of the times
tunnel.
that you were sad. But the idea is that you're thinking about
Getting that fear and loathing.
Right. You're thinking of people. You're thinking of experiences.
Yeah.
You're thinking of animals.
Yeah, and longing.
Longing
And for what isn't, what once was and now isn't.
So it's a little
I feel that a lot in my body.
It's a little play on words, like alone. Like, are we ever
Never
alone?
We're never ever.
Because I have 2 dogs. Like, whenever I'm sad, I like think of Milo and Bella, and it makes me smile.
Right.
Does that mean that I'm alone? Does that mean that their energy is interacting with mine? And at any given time, I kind of reach out to that energy and say, I needed that. The same way, I need someone to go get ice. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic when you say, I don't like being alone, Well,
I do like being alone. That's why I'm here. But at Burning Man, it was like, because I was kind of doing everything kind of solo, and then also chose to. Like, I was there, but like, I was like, I'm going solo today. Because I tried to like keep up with the group and do the thing that everybody was doing, and then it ended up being me and Drea, and that was good for us. We liked the two people, but I very much enjoy being alone, and I've also been very clear in my energetic signature of like, I am enjoying my alone time. I am creating in my alone time. It is balanced in my alone time. I like doing whatever the heck I want in my alone time. And so it's almost like do not pass. It was, or it is, but now it's interesting because now I have this opening and I'm like, what if there was someone to reciprocate what I'm moving through and have kind of that dialogue or just that energetic exchange of another being present. So it was more that I'm almost valuing my alone time as much as understanding that like being in a community with another person's is also very delightful and offers other treats and delights.
I like the conversation. Some of it is because I think about this stuff, but, your daily existence is flowing with flaps going back and forth between I'm loving my alone time and I love being with another person. Like in that moment, I wish I had a person to go get ice. Like I don't want to drive on the bumpy road, but then the sun comes out and you're just sitting there by yourself, the sun, feeling, oh my God, this feels so good. I'm so loving this view and I'm loving this moment with myself. And then, so it's the flap goes this way and you want a person. The flap goes this way and you're taking a beautiful breath. The flap goes this way and you don't want a person. Then it goes this way and you're having a great cup of coffee. And it's constantly going back and forth between, I love my moment here, and 2, I wish I had someone to share it with. And this is the nature of life, is just kind of flows around, and you'll have 20 straight moments of alone beauty where you're smelling a flower and you're walking your dog and you're seeing a beautiful tree and you're feeling the sun, and it's like, just moment after moment after moment of like, I love this. Then you get home and you're like calling your boyfriend, can you come over? I want to see you. So it's also kind of understanding that there is no designed plan, and you will be going back and forth between this all the time. There's There's a television show, and I forgot the name of it. I could probably look it up. That tried, I think, pretty well to represent the constant moving from the real brick and mortar world to the consciousness world. Meaning, if you're with meeting a nice guy, and you're like, seems like a nice guy, I might like to spend time with that guy. And then your head goes to, the last motherfucker was just an asshole. And I remember him like just leaving me on a corner when he said he would come, and I had to like get an Uber, and like, I'm like, where the hell were you? And he was so thoughtless. And then you come back to, he seems like a nice guy, where you're going back and forth between your experiences and your biases in your head to your experience in the brick and mortar world, where you're having real time interaction. And this TV show is constant. Like, you might feel something, see someone in a television show dying and think of your grandmother. And going back and forth with, your grandmother died of cancer, and this person's dying of cancer, and you're just like, remember your sadness of that, and it's affecting your sadness when you watch this, and you're kind of going back and forth between, I'm watching someone die of cancer, and I had someone die of cancer in my life, and it's a fluid, you don't even notice it happening in your consciousness, but it happens all the time. And this show tried to represent it, and it was fascinating because it dove deep into like her relationship with her dad. It would pop up in the middle of nowhere when she's like having dinner with her boyfriend.
Interesting.
And it would go to that memory of like her dad like saying, you can do this, when she didn't think she could do it. And
Right.
like, and then she's like back like, what do you want to order? And it's just, but this is how we are in our life. Our consciousness is constantly flowing, like, and interacting with us at the same time that we're interacting now. And so part of the sophistication of existing is the fact that it's so fucking sophisticated. It's so beyond us. The way things flow, the decision matrix, the idea that we're like, that we can have control over anything, is part of the magic of being able to like let a lot of it go and just exist in the moment and be present with everything, because you're never going to control anything. You're never going to have the answer to anything. And the more you seek those things, the more you're going to be distracted from just being here.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
I like living in existential land. It's nice. But part of it is, and I think we've spoken about this in the past, the fact that just from the scientific perspective, I love science. I grew up in a science nerdy family. Chemical engineers, were in the chemical laboratory supplies business. So grew up with the periodic tables. We talked about the fact that you and I, our bodies, we're 55 trillion cells. I watched a movie last night, I think that was called, at movie night for my group of Burning Man friends, called Gut Feeling. I think it was called Gut Feeling. And it was about the biome that lives in the community of creatures that live in your gut, and how antibiotics and different things have totally messed with our
It's a documentary.
It is a documentary.
I think I may have watched it.
And that people get fecal transplants, and they have,
Yes.
where
they
they get probiotics, which are not natural. And it's really, the movie was all about, how do you not mess with what is a natural community of things that work within the community of living things that you are. Meaning, your body is 55 trillion cells, all of which can be living in a fridge in a petri dish without Ashley. Is that Ashley in the fridge? All the bacteria and viruses and things that are constantly landing on you and being breathed into your nose and going down your gut. All of these things have their own energy, their own life that doesn't really look like your life or your perceived life. And so those critters, that village that is Ashley's body, has invited Ashley's energy, we're calling Ashley you, but it's really the energy that has been invited in to this village of living things to have the human experience. And so that concept alone makes people glaze over. Like, what do you mean I'm not John? I'm like, well, I am John, the energy that is existing with this village of living things. And we don't even know the extent of this because our science is only so good to be able to see small things. So we can see electrons and neutrons and, different minerals like magnesium and oxygen and hydrogen and see all the things that make us up. But we don't know how to go smaller, or we haven't made it up, because everything we know we made up anyways. And so the idea that we're just energy that is invited in to have this experience, which is all just ideas, dreams, conversation, smells, taste, hearing, sight, it can't be understood. There's no ability to understand it from the human construct. It's not something we understand. So we dismiss it automatically as like woo-woo, the same way when we look up in the sky and say a trillion other stars like Earth in our galaxy, and then there's trillions of galaxies, and we're like, what are we having for lunch? Like trillions of trillions of trillions of what? There's no end to that, or is there an end to that, or is it just a perception of? I mean, who knows?
Right.
So, we like to wrap our existence up in a neat box with a bow and say we have all the answers, we understand it all, and we have no answer. We have no ability to understand all of this. And it's kind of like the fool's errand to be seeking those answers because it's so past human comprehension. It's so much bigger than what we made up, which is in every textbook on page 12, chapter 7.
When we are moving through this time and space, I find I get bogged down with like the longing, the what if, and oh, I miss it. We had it. I miss it. It's been like taken away from me, and I want it back. And so I felt that at Burning Man that left me. I don't know if it was because I was in like a state of like beingness, presence, or a state of survival, like only trying to survive because I was struggling out there emotionally. But when I came back to the default world a couple days later, I camped on my way down, but I was allowing myself that decompression. I get back here and I'm like, oh, some things that I would like think about or would cross my mind were just kind of gone. Like part of the 70,000 thoughts I had yesterday, those were gone. It was just kind of like, I survived Burning Man 2025. Come at me, bitch. Like, I'm ready. Like,
it's interesting because Byron Katie wrote a book about this.
The work?
No, Loving What Is.
Oh, okay.
So her premise, she had some psychotic break. She went to a residential program. Then she had an epiphany, wrote a book, became famous.
Right. But, okay. I was thinking of somebody else.
And the premise of her book is the what ifs. Is that the source of all of her pain, all of her anxiety, all of her she would say her malfunctioning in the default world was due to the fact that she would do a lot of like, you say what if, but really it's always wishing for something that wasn't. Meaning it's raining. I wish it was sunny. I'd go outside. I share my feelings with my boyfriend. He never shares his feelings. He's such an asshole. Even though that's who he is. And the idea of her book is, which is very true, like everything you said about Burning Man, I believe also, is just being in reality and not wishing for something that isn't. Here, you wish for a nicer guy. You wish that you had run 5 miles yesterday. You wish you had gotten up earlier. You wish that is your own source of anguish, because no one else is feeling what you're saying. No one else is feeling, I wish I had gotten up earlier. No one else is feeling, I wish I had a nicer boyfriend.
Well, they might be, but in their own world, not in your world.
But no, they're not wishing that you had a nicer
Right,
boyfriend.
right,
They had a nicer boyfriend. But the idea is that putting your arms around truth and loving truth is a way to remove so much of the pain and anxiety in someone's life. It's not always wishing for things that aren't. It's just
loving the truth.
Loving what is. Loving the truth. And at Burning Man, it kind of forces you to do that.
Yeah.
Like when it's a storm and you have a tent, you can't say, I'm going to go to the hotel.
But can you?
When you don't have ice and your things are getting around, you're like, you can't say, I got to find a fridge somewhere. You don't have ice. It's going bad. You're dealing with everything in real time of what it actually is.
And loving what is.
And loving what it is. Even if you don't love what it is, you put your arms around what is. You don't have to, like, I don't think you have to love every second. I mean, for me, I'm interested. I'm fascinated by it. I really don't get angry about any of it. But I don't love every moment. Like some moments are kind of blah. But like then you kind of get the fascination of, why is this blah?
Yeah.
Like that's interesting.
I was looking at that.
Why is it blah because I'm making it blah? Or is it blah because it's actually blah? Like if you're fascinated with the individuality and the magic of just everything, then everything should be interesting. Why something causes pain, why something causes pleasure, why something seems blah when there's like sun and beauty and, you know, landscapes are amazing. And is that blah? Are you choosing it to make it blah? You know, it should all be, why can't it all just be interesting? And to not hold on to, I wish it were something that I wanted to, exactly what I wanted. You can't like roll like that. You can't, sometimes you're lucky and it kind of lands where you like it, but you have no control over it. So, you know, when you know, kind of have those opinions and judgments of your own life, you're kind of like, why isn't it just falling into place the way I see it? You know?
Yeah. And then you're kind of either mad at yourself or judging that why it's not.
And then you hold it, and that takes you to another place.
Totally.
And it affects how you smell a flower, and how you drink your coffee, and how you talk to your mom, and how you feel about your cat. Like, you know, why did you scratch that? You know, like, I'm just a cat. That's what I do.
I do. I'm just scratching around here. So if we're saying kind of that that self judgment in a way of not of a like if we're loving what is, you get it, that's presence. And it reminds me of the Alan Watts, I think he quoted it from a older ancient text of like the farmer had a horse and the horse ran away, and everyone came over and said, "Oh, that's too bad." And he's like, "Is it?" And then the horse comes back the next day with a bunch of other horses. And they're like, "Wow, that's great. Your horse brought back 5 other horses for the farm. Amazing." And he's like, "Is it?" Like, or like, we'll see or something. He's just kind of, then his son breaks his leg and they're like, oh no, we're so sorry. Your son broke his leg. And they're like, it's just like, they're like, that's too bad. And they're like, is it? And then the next day, the army recruits come in and looking for people to take to war. And they're like, we'll take any able body you got under the age of whatever. And he's like, well, I'm too old and my son's leg's broken. Everyone's like, wow, that's great. He's not going off to war. Just like, is it? Like, just kind of being in that neutral place is really kind of coming back to that presence of being neutral. And that's what I also gathered from Burning Man is there was definitely a moment where I was like, why would anybody come here? This place is a living hell. It is satanic. I don't want, like, this is, why would you get yourself this uncomfortable? Like, this is stupid. Like, I just was having a moment. And then it was, again, like a victim consciousness. And I was like, oh, why are you mad? Like, you don't have anywhere to be. You don't have anywhere, like, you're...
But that's
you're
like
in
a
this
reflection of
space.
life. Like,
Yeah.
why don't I have a better job? Why don't I have a bigger house? Why don't I have more friends? Why don't I have
Yeah.
a boyfriend? Like, you equate it to this microcosm when you just live it every day. You just don't look at it like that.
Right.
And going back to even Byron Katie for a second, because she has this interesting worksheet, which I totally forgot, but I can try to remember it. Like, if you have a partner that doesn't share their feelings and you share your feelings and you're like, why don't you share your feelings? Like, how can we be a good partnership if I'm the only person sharing my feelings? You never share your feelings. Why are you such an asshole? To be able to say, what exactly about that person not sharing their feelings makes you upset? They're not you. And what compels you to feel like if you share their feelings, someone else has to back? Like, do you live a debit and credit existence?
Transaction.
Meaning, yeah, the transaction is, I'm giving you a nicety, you're thanking me. But the motivation should be, I'm doing a nicety because I want to do it.
Right. And that's the principle
that's
of
enough.
Burning Man.
And that's enough.
Yeah.
So if I'm sharing my feelings because I want to share my feelings, and that's enough. If someone else shares their feelings with me, that's beautiful, but it's because they want to, not because I want them to. When you get mad at someone else for not doing what you want, you're basically saying, hand me the keys to your fucking life because I need you to be what I want you to be. As opposed to just loving that person for who that person is and feeling like everything you do is intentional from you and doesn't require something in return.
The first or second night, Drea's bike was like rogue. It may have even been the first night because we were like testing it out and her bike was like riding itself. Like it was like we thought it was possessed for a moment. We're like, what is that? Like, this bike is out for blood.
Is it
Look
e-bike?
out. No, it was a little cruiser. And we're riding through and we're like, oh, a bike shop, cool, 24-hour bike shop. And it's like fix your own bike and it's got the tools all there on like a little wire or something so you can tinker around. And we're like, well, we don't know what's wrong with it. We just know there's something wrong with it. There's like 4 people like chilling, nobody from that camp, just a bunch of us that are just like, so, because there were people there that did know how to fix their bike. That was the idea, is that you fix your own bike. And we're just like, well, we don't really know what we're doing. We just know it's an issue. And girl was like, well, let me take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. And she's like putting air in the tires. And she's like, checking it out. She's like, there's something wrong with it, but I don't know what it is. Like, it doesn't look right. And then this other guy comes out of like nowhere. He's like, hey, I'm Dirty Dan. What's going on here? And we're like, it just doesn't want to work. Da da da. And he like looks at the spokes and the way the basket's on. And he's like, oh, okay. We need this, 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 and this. And he goes and he fixes it. Amazing. The bike rides great. And I'm like, I wanted to like give him $20 for like doing this, for like,
Saving you.
For saving us. Yes, exactly. So, but it was Drea's bike, so I was like, it's not my bike. So he fixed her bike. She didn't offer anything. So I was like, oh, okay, just like sit with that. And I was like, this is the whole idea of the playa. And I don't know if I told you, but I thought I was going to be pitching a tent and sleeping in my tent. Day one, we get in there, and it's Monday night, and another band of rain is coming through and wind. And it's like, not going to build your tent in that because you're going to have to strike it back down again, And another guy in the camp was like, listen, we hauled the camper in on my truck, and on top of my truck is a tent. Can you sleep in there? He was just like, do it. And I was like, well, no, I want my own tent. I was going to have space. He's literally opening the bed of the truck and opening it up. And he's like, tell me this isn't your own space. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, it's okay. It's fine. I mean, I really,
And in the inside, you're like, thank God.
Yeah,
thank God.
Exactly. And then I had to consult the people I came with, Drea and Jen and Oscar. And I was like, guys, he's just gonna let me stay up there. And they're like, yeah, the playa provides. And I'm like, well, am I gonna build my own tent? And they're like, no, you're just not. This is a gift. This is the first gift of the playa. The playa is providing you a stable ground with a tent. You got your tent style, but you're on a truck, so you're not gonna move. And I was just like, right, I can receive this. I can receive, I had to let that in.
Everyone has those experiences of Burning Man. I had a bicycle experience. So we store our camp. We have 70 people. We have a container. We leave all of our bikes at Burning Man. And as you can see from this Burning Man, the conditions can be rough, and there's dust and there's bumps, and regular bikes go through hell at Burning Man. Amazing that they even survive. And every year we have 2 guys in our camp who's in charge of the bike. So they rehab the bikes and oil it and check the chains, and they air pressure and change the tubes. And my bike, so I have a regular cruiser. I've resisted the e-bike trend, and because I like to ride my bike, although I might change sometime.
Right. After this last year.
The bumps of this. So I try my bike, and the first thing that happens is the tire's flat after they had checked it. So one of the 2 guys in charge of bikes, my buddy Mike, and he's from Chicago. And I'm like, Mike, can you fix my bike? And he puts in he spends 2 hours with my bike putting in new tubes and riding it around. And he puts in a second tube, and he says, it's good to go. I waited for an hour. It didn't go down. It's still in good shape. Let's go for a ride. So we go for a ride. 1 block away, it's flat. I'm like, Mike, the tire's flat. He goes, I just waited an hour. It looked good. I said, I can't ride this. So we go back. Instead of taking a ride around the camps, he spends another 2 hours with my bike.
Wow.
Checking out different size tubes. We finally get it. And he's like, this is working. I'm 100% sure. I rode it around for 20 minutes. After I put in the new tube, we get on the bike. Can't be more than 5 minutes into a ride, my chain comes off. Mike, I don't know if this is part of what happened, but the chain came off. He goes, well, I was kind of wondering why I couldn't get the gear a little bit further up when I put the tube back on, but it should work. It looks like it should work. He puts the chain back on. I help him. I'm not completely helpless, but he's more knowledgeable than me. And we ride for another 10 minutes, comes off again. Came off 8 times during that ride. So he's like, we need to go to a bike shop. I know bikes, but this is past me. So the next day, we go to a comprehensive bike shop, not a do-it-yourself bike shop.
Right.
Because he's got all the tools. Our camp has all the tools. We go to with professional bike people. And they're they look at the same way that Mike did. They're they look at the chain. They oil the chain. They said, really, it just needed oil. That's it. And Mike's like, it works perfectly. It just needed oil. We didn't have enough oil. Good to go. We ride out to playa, and the chain comes off. I'm like, there's no big deal. It's come off before. Let's just put it back on. It's now oiled. It should work. Another 50 yards, comes off again. Comes off another 6 times. I'm like,
Wow.
holy shit. Like, I think that I am destined to have this issue for this Burning Man. I said, he said, look, let me ride it to see if maybe I can ride it better than you. I'm like, what do you mean you ride it better than me? We're both just paddling the same. He's like,
That's what happened with me and Drea though too. I was like, babe, let me ride it. I'll ride it. Like the chain will stop falling up. This is so similar.
Bizarrely, he rode it and it only came off once. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm really trying to just move my feet. Like, I've ridden bikes before. This is not that complicated. There's no gears. It's just like you just pedal.
Right.
Straightforward. I'm just like being even. I'm like, okay, I need to practice being even. So I like rode around the bike trying to be even. Like, once we got back to the camp, I'm like, this is a miracle. It's a fucking miracle that this is working.
Right.
Next day, I go all the way across Black Rock City.
To District.
And my bike is stolen. And I had a conversation with the people I was going to say hi to. I said, I've never locked my bike in 7 prior Burning Men. And it's never been stolen. And what happens? It's stolen.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, my bike has my nickname, Woldy, splashed in neon yellow paint on one side, neon fuchsia on the other side, not like little type, big painted drippy letters. And my cup has neon yellow Woldy. You cannot mistake any of this.
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, whoever this is riding around with people, and they're like, you're not Woldy, right?
Right.
You're like, this is not your bike. I'm like, you know what? This has been to so many Burning Man. This bike's had its time. It's now gone off. And I said, and then it rained, and I'm like, okay, that person for sure is being stuck out in the playa. There's no question that they are now stuck on the playa. But it's no longer my bike. And I thought to myself, I've never walked across Black Rock City in 7 Burning Man. I'm like, I'm going to walk and take my time and see Burning Man from a different perspective. And I took like 2.5 hours to walk back to my camp, and I stopped at all these little camps. And it was like this beautiful new experience. I came back. We found another bike together. We had extra bikes. It was all tuned up. In fact, not only did we have extra bikes, but another person came to a camp, a filmmaker from New York who's a friend of mine, who's doing actually a 4-part series on Netflix about Burning Man.
Oh,
it's coming out.
Cool.
It's called The Burning Man. She texts me. I said, my bike was stolen. She goes, I'll buy a bike on the way into Burning Man for you.
Wow.
I said, you don't have to. I can probably find a bike here. She goes, no, I'm going to buy a bike for you. So she bought a bike for me at one of these like junk bike places.
Right. Well,
but
you see them. It's like when you
bikes.
leave the playa,
Yes.
people donate
Yes.
if they're not bringing it home with them.
But I found a bike that worked from our camp, so I was happy with my bike. She's like, we have an extra bike. And as it turned out, it worked out for her because the first bike she bought really didn't work. So she had to take the bike that she bought from me to be able to be at Burning Man.
Wow.
But it's like, my bike was stolen. You'd never know how people have their lives outside of Burning Man. And to me, I give everyone a hall pass, really, because that person might have a miserable life in real life, and they don't feel like it's any issue to take someone else's things or to not necessarily to put themselves in front of other people and to not be as helpful. And their journey is part of this.
Yeah.
Is maybe part of their journey is having someone say, are you Woldy?
Yeah.
And them saying, no, I just borrowed this bike. They're like, you borrowed someone's bike with their cup?
Yeah. Right.
Like, they don't need their cup? And it's interesting because we had a situation at our camp where someone accidentally found our camp. They were with another camp. It was not being that helpful for them. They asked if they could camp one night at our camp. Ultimately camped with us. The head of our camp said, you can camp with us. And he did something, he did a bunch of things, but he did something with regard to me.
Whoa.
That prompted me to have to say something to him.
Oh, goodness.
We have a tea house, as you know.
Yes.
We serve tea every day to people that come to our camp, strangers. We serve baked goods, and everyone brings their cup. And because everyone has a cup, and it's one of those critical things. A bike is critical.
Yep,
Having a
and
cup is
having your own
critical.
cup. Yeah, because if you don't know, Burning Man, like you, there's liquids and food available for
Yes.
you, but you kind of need to come with your own plate and your own cup a lot of the
Yes.
time to be served.
You need to be self-sufficient
Yes.
in general.
Yes,
You need to have your
yeah.
own transportation. You need to have your own light. Like, for example, there's no street lights. If you don't have lights on your bike or lights on your body, you're in the dark and you're
Yep.
putting yourself at risk. It's
Of
just
being hit because it's dark out there.
it's chaos that works, but it's chaos. But in general, like, you just have to be self-reliant, self-sufficient. Anyways, this person lent my cup to a stranger and then left camp, not knowing whether that stranger would just walk with my cup. And it's not something I would ever do. One, the rule here is if you don't have your cup, you have to go get a cup. Like, we don't provide cups for you anywhere at Burning Man. But I had to, like, approach him and say, I recovered the cup because someone at the camp saw someone who was a stranger drinking from my cup and said, "Hey, where did you get that cup?"
Whoa.
And someone borrowed it.
Wow.
Someone lent it to me. And I said, "But you need your own cup."
You're not
and they took
Woldy.
it. They took it back. That's another member of our camp. But I had to approach this person and say, I would not say this to anyone else. You're new here, and I don't know, your energy, and if you understand the energy of what this is here at our camp, but I have to tell you, you are not authorized to take or borrow anything that is mine, because you risked my cup leaving the camp. You lent out something of mine and you just left. And I don't want you using or borrowing anything of mine, and I need to tell you that I would not tell this to a single other person in our camp. You need to hear it, because I felt like that was not thoughtful, not caring, which is part of what our camp is. And part of our dialogue, he started saying, "Oh, someone else said I could do it, and this and this," and he started coming up like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." I said, I don't want to have any of these conversations, because your own decision, that it wasn't your cup, it wasn't their cup. You could have lent out your own cup. You chose to lend out someone else's cup. I said, no matter what someone says, you can lend out one of those cups, or you're sorry you lent it out. You should have known that in general. You're here at Burning Man. You know what it's like. So what would have happened if my cup walked out? What would you say?
Yeah.
"Oh, like, I'm really sorry you don't have a cup for the rest of Burning Man?"
Right. Yeah.
Like,
which is then
I said
yeah.
it. So
Critical.
he was very uncomfortable for a little while. I said, "Look, you're going to feel some discomfort from what I'm saying, and I don't think you're a bad person. I don't hate you, but this was something that doesn't happen at this camp. It doesn't really happen at Burning Man. And you need to know that it affected another person, me. And it would have affected me in a bigger way had it disappeared and someone from the camp not said, 'Hey, that's not your cup.'"
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took him like a day and a half. And he kept coming over to me and really wanted to say, "I'm sorry, it wasn't my intention." I said, "Look, you don't understand. Having this conversation is irrelevant to me. You either are or you aren't. You either are what this is or you aren't what this is." Giving me all these additional explanations. He said I could use it. I'm really sorry. It wasn't my intention. I thought they'd give it back. This or that. It doesn't mean anything to me. You either care holistically about the people around you, including the strangers, incidentally, but within the confines of what this is, or you don't. And giving me an added explanation doesn't mean anything, because you're going to be what you're going to be. It's kind of like, not having to say thank you or that's beautiful all the time, because if you live with a captivation with everything, you're not having that, again, that decision matrix, like, is that worthy of a thank you? Is that worthy of being beautiful? Is that not beautiful enough of being beautiful? Is that too beautiful? It's got to be gorgeous. Like, it's, you're distracting yourself from just being with it by having to judge it, everything, and put it into a basket somewhere. So that is challenging, to fill your head with, like, was that nice enough? Like, that person was really nice. I forgot to say thank you. Oh my God, that was so beautiful. Like, did I really appreciate that as much as I should have? Like, it's just being present with everything, being grateful, living that way. You don't have to make those judgments constantly if you're just that way. And that was what I was trying to communicate to him. Just be it. Don't explain it away. Just be it. You're distracting yourself just by even talking to me about it. Just be it. Just be thoughtful.
Yeah. The words don't matter.
Words don't matter. It's how do you exist in the world. Listen, I don't have the cliff notes to, like, life. I just have my own journey, which has landed me where I am, and I'm only one of 8 billion human beings on the planet who all have their own journey and all have their own experiences that have landed them where they are in that moment. But I'm happy. Like, I'm like legitimately a happy person. Doesn't mean that everything's a yellow brick road. It just means that I like the mess. I like living amongst this. I don't mind the challenges. I don't mind, like, the highs and lows. It's like all part of the crazy madcap adventure of just being here. And Burning Man is a good kind of brief glimpse at reflection of what everything else is.
Yeah.
It's really a reflection. And then the question is, the real bizarre question is, why can't we, like, have this in the real world? Like, if people are always so kind and everyone loves Burning Man, they love the experience, why can't we be generous in the default world? Why can't we have, like, beautiful light displays? Why can't we have art? Why can't we have, like, sharing of intellectual, emotional content? Like, what's so hard about that? Like, if we love it so, and then we go back to our stressful lives, like, what is stopping us from, like, carrying that into every day? And the answer is, nothing is difficult about it, but you have to break from the preordained form of the human construct to allow that to enter your life. Because there are lots of rules and regulations in the human construct that don't value, quantify that level of happiness in existence. They value money,
Productivity.
money. It's
Capitalism.
there are it's total
ROI.
There's total chaos at Burning Man. No streets. People are going this way and this way and this
the
way.
First night I was
and
like,
you're just like,
what's
whoa,
happening?
right? Where are, like, will I make it across the playa without being like hit by a e-bike or another bike or hitting some walker and like or just like
or running
crashing
over a chunk of moop or something?
it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna like, this is chaos. And it all works. It all works without all the rules, without all the laws. Yet we go to the default world and we have to law. If you kill someone, you're going to jail.
Right.
Really?
Jaywalking.
We need a law.
You can't park here.
We need a law. Don't kill someone.
Yeah.
If you steal that person's phone, you go to jail. Like, we need another law to tell someone don't steal other people's stuff. Like, are we just the silly species? Every law is just so obvious.
Yeah.
Like, you need a law for that? Like you go to Burning Man, there are no laws. It's the
No.
laws are.
Do you, I was going to go here is like, I felt by the end of it, I was like, oh, this is punk rock. There's there's an anarchical kind of fuck the system thing that I was enjoying as well, like being a little lawless.
See, I would say, I would alter the vocabulary, not to say fuck the system, but screw the human construct. Like, I don't need to fit into what everyone else fits into. I can just be me. Meaning, like we say anarchist because we blame like government. But we set
Right.
this thing up.
Yeah.
We like planned it. We set it up. We built it. We say this is the schedule. Here's the clock. Here's the syllabus. We got to follow all these things, and then when we don't follow it, you're like punished.
Yeah.
And we go to a place like this, like this total
Castrated.
anarchy, but it's actually, you're just allowed to be yourself and not answer to this monoculture form that everyone's got to snap into that grid or be viewed as an outlier. It's not, I don't view it as much as anarchy as it is, I don't have to
Freedom.
like follow this like intensely rigid construct
Yeah.
when I don't fit into it. I don't even
Yeah.
think I fit into it. And so out here, I'm going to put makeup on and I'm going to like put crazy shit on and I'm going to run naked in the playa and I'm going to like not eat lunch or breakfast, only eat dinner. I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to sleep from 2 to 5 in the afternoon because I'm tired. And I'm going to like go through the night because I love the night. And I'm going to be what I want to be. And I think that that's, you know, when we use the word anarchy, it creates this like
It's
battle
another,
zone.
Yeah, it's another
conflict.
word that we associate a meaning to that is then even creating another picture.
Another issue.
Another issue.
Like it's
yeah.
them against me.
Right. No.
And it's
not.
It's kind of like people saying, I need a reset. I'm like, you are who you are. You don't need
Right,
a reset.
right.
You are who you are.
Yeah.
There's no resetting you. You are.
Well, I know when we do a practice, I say give thanks to your mind, your body, your heart, your spirit, and your spine. And you've brought up in session of like, you know, what are we thinking if you're already living in gratitude?
Not to mention the fact that it's, you know, this goes back to I've done lots of plant medicine and I did this peyote ceremony. And I don't know if you've ever done a peyote ceremony, but one of the first things, I went with this Mexican shaman who was very famous, and his wife was a shaman, and they have like water blessings and flower blessings. But the first thing they do is everybody goes outside around a fire, and the shaman gives you a stick and says to everyone, you know, think of anyone you've slighted, anything that's disappointed you, anything that you wish you had done, make that, just think of that entire list and release it and put it in the fire. Put the stick in the fire and start fresh. And so he gave me the stick and I immediately put it in the fire. Without even, like everyone else is like concentrating.
Right, yeah.
And they're like,
that time they did the thing and that person and I can't forget that person.
And he walked over to me and goes, your list seems very short. He goes, you didn't make a list? I said, I did. He goes, you made a list? I said, everything. He goes, everything? I said, yeah. Do I limit it to, do I count when I walk on grass that's alive? Or step on an anthill? Or I cut someone off by accident? Or I could have helped someone and I did, like, I can't make a list. It's everything. I need to be this way with everything. There's no list for me. It's how I have to be with everything. Like you're picking and choosing by making a list. Like I don't think it's important enough that I stepped on grass, which is alive, or that I, you know, tripped, or that I killed an ant, or that, you know, I killed a mosquito. Like that doesn't count. But it counts that I yelled at my mom. Damn it.
Right, right.
You know, so to me, this is the issue of human existence, is that we feel like we kind of stand on top of everything. We don't have to exist with everything. My approach to everything is I'm here with everything. And I'm not limiting it to my own personal human list. There are things that I don't even know that I do. Like I breathe someone's air, they're trying to breathe. They're hyperventilating, I'm breathing their air. Like, do I say I'm sorry for that?
Right.
Like, if I'm not thinking a beautiful thought when someone's thinking a beautiful thought about me, do I like?
So sorry.
Yeah.
I wasn't
I'm like,
thinking
yeah.
of
I
it.
said this. I said it's just me.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Anyone else needs to make a list, but I just can't exist by making a list. And it was a smidgen disconcerting for him because he has his way. But I also found that shaman, they're just people, and it's like a business.
Sure are.
Like they have to get people to come. We all pay money. You know, it's
There's a business
so
transactional thing happening there.
It jostles for space with I really am a selfless, caring healer of sorts, versus you had to do it my way. I'm telling you, I'm the shaman. Like, you might be the shaman, but you're not my shaman. I'm my own shaman. I said, I want you to be part of my dialogue. I want to hear what you have to say. I'm here. I want to participate in this and learn, but I'm my only teacher. And it's no slight on you as like this famous shaman that has people come from all over the world to do peyote with you. But I'm here just for the dialogue. I'm a bad example of everything because like a lot of people have shaman, they have teachers, they have yogas, and it really helps them. It just doesn't help me.
Right. Well, I don't think you're a bad example. I think you're being another example of how you can be in the world, because with my kind of teaching that I feel like from society, from a shamanic point of view, it's like from being a hypnotist, from being in the fitness industry, it's like, let me find the thing that's wrong with you so we can fix it.
Yeah.
You know? And I think what we is at the root of all of it is like inherently there's nothing wrong, bad, or negative about you. Yeah. Inherently you are.
Yeah.
I am. Yep. That is. Yep. That is it. All the voices are what's kind of shaping the clay and molding you into the thing that then if you step out of line, it's like you were bad for doing it. Right?
You know, it's funny because this reminds me of a friend who's going through a difficult time, and she said something that's helped her is this amazing ceramics class in Santa Monica, ironically. She loves this teacher. She's alone at the wheel. It's just her and the clay, and the teacher's so kind and helped her understand how to be, where to put her thumbs and how much pressure. And she's telling me this, and I said, I'm going to suggest like another exercise. We talked about it, and like you go in without your teacher with just clay and water, and you like play with clay, not knowing anything. So that like when you use too much water, when you push too hard with your thumbs, how clay interacts with you personally. Because right now, you're just memorizing the 10 things your teacher said versus you have a actual relationship with the clay and your teacher's part of your conversation. And I said, if you get to the point where you really understand clay and clay understands you, I said, this is a river flowing back and forth. So it's not just you pushing on clay, it's the clay responding to you.
Oh, yeah.
So it's realizing that that's a relationship.
Yeah.
That you need to explore on your own so that you understand how you interact with it, and then invite everybody in on the conversation, but you are, you're forming your own path. And I said that might be a really interesting exercise, because right now you're just telling me the teacher said first you sit down, you put this much water in, you get your tool out, you got to do this, and that is just like school. You're memorizing the 10 items that your teacher told you need to memorize to be considered smart, but you don't actually have a relationship with math in the context of your life. You're just memorizing what they told you need to memorize, but without any understanding of it. And here, you like this person because they're kind and they're nice and they're thoughtful and they're caring for you. But without her, you probably couldn't walk in here on your own and feel like you could exist without her 10 rules. But life is radical self-reliance in every way. It's like Burning Man. And so it's forming those relationships without someone telling you to form the relationship that will allow you to navigate, good or bad, doesn't matter. Like, you might not be the greatest ceramicist ever, but you will know how to interact with it. And the clay, we don't actually give clay the label of intelligence. We're like, it's a thing.
Right.
It's a thing. We don't know. We don't have any idea. It's an organic material. We have no clue. It's like, we don't say bees are smart. We don't say ants are smart. We don't know, but we just say, because we're smart. They aren't smart. That can't be smart. A plant, a flower can't be smart. Like, how could a flower be smart? It's just a flower. So the question becomes, we have to stop judging everything and allowing ourselves to believe that whenever we interact with anything, there's energetic flow back and forth between you and whatever that is. Whether you're smelling a flower, you're seeing a flower, you're touching a flower and the feeling you get, or you're interacting with clay. Everything has an interaction. Incidentally, the clay, if you were to like melt it down, a lot of what's in clay is in your body. Hydrogen, oxygen, like there's probably, oh my God, zinc, man. There's probably all this stuff.
A lot of the periodic table.
Is
a lot
in
of the
clay.
periodic table is on that clay.
Yeah, we don't say it's us. We say it's just fucking clay.
Yeah,
man.
no.
Yeah, so
it has a vibration. It has an intelligence.
I don't know what, we've deemed what intelligence is. We've said, basically knowing the story we've written, that we've made up, and knowing the answers to the story that we've made up. We made up the answers too. If we know both the story, science, and the answers that we made up to the story, then we slap an A on our grade because we know what we made up. Human beings have made up everything you know. It's a language-based existence. So all the science, all the emotions, all the everything. Some woman or some man like wrote it down and said, this is what this is.
This is it. This
Philosopher,
is it.
scientist,
named after the person,
athletic, astronomer. That's a fucking star up there. I'm like, okay.
I come from an anatomy background, and there are parts of the body and the human anatomy that are named after the doctor or the dissector, whoever came across that piece of anatomy. It's like
Joe Liver.
Yeah, Joe Liver. It's just it's like this. You're right. Like I'm seeing just like we're kind of building this world around us. This reality by saying this is this and this is that.
And then teaching ourselves what we say, this is this is that. We go to schools and say, hey, little kid, this is this is that.
Yeah.
Then you say, hey, what is that? And they're like, that's this, this is that. I'm like, oh my God, you are the smartest kid in class.
And
they're like,
interesting.
Thank you.
And then we don't get praised for unique or individual thought.
Because we want everyone to be the same.
Yeah.
We want everything to be the same.
Well, the Matrix does.
Because it's uncomfortable when things are different. Because it's hard to manage.
Yeah.
If there's 8 billion different types of people, how do you manage that?
Right.
Because we feel like we have to manage everything.
We got to get everybody in their thing. That just reminded me of a moment in Burning Man when I had just got my bike unlocked after it being locked over at District for 2 days. And we're riding back and I see Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. And I was like, Drea, it's Quetzalcoatl, it's Quetzal, we gotta go see Quetzal, like, we need to shed this shit. And we walk in and it's a beautiful ceremony of song and dance and poetics and calling in and invocation and prayer. And we are just like, yes, and it's called transformation. You are gonna transformation. And we're like, okay, we're gonna get foamy, like, what's that look like? And then the ceremony is over and everybody starts getting naked, and then they go into this thing that looks like a human car wash, and you get foamed down and you scrub yourself, and then they rinse you. And I was like all in, and Drea was like, no. And I was like, girl, when else are we going to get naked with 300 other people and go through a human car wash? And so she did it, but I was like, everybody was naked, so it was fine. Like, there wasn't a...
But it was always fine.
It was always fine.
It was always fine.
It was always fine.
Yes.
And so that was like a little nugget of deliciousness I got then, is like, it was always fine.
Always fine.
We can do whatever we do with clothes on, with clothes off, and it's always fine.
Because someone once said, hey, you got to cover up your breast. You got to cover up your penis. You got to cover up your vagina. Yeah. And they're like, why? Because you should.
Yeah.
That's what
it's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Those are, your
like,
private
so
parts.
Everyone
Keep
just
them
accepted
in private.
it. Like, okay. It's like your body. Any other animal on the planet give a shit?
Naked. Nope.
They don't care.
No.
They're like, hey,
here's my butt. I know my
babies.
kitty, wherever he's at, he's always sticking his little butt.
The bonobo chimpanzees are a species of chimpanzees, you should look this up, that part of their society is that everybody has sex with everybody. Guys, girls, anybody who comes up, you just have sex with them.
Wow.
And they're the happiest, most like grounded, most successful species of chimp. And they just all have sex with each other. They're all like pulling each other's penises and just like, it's like a crazy idea. And scientists are studying, like, how could they be so happy?
Right.
Maybe because they don't have this like layer of shame and guilt that we created, that we have to manage our entire lives. Too fat, too skinny, too tall, too short, too, not enough muscle, not enough this and that. We've done it. Yeah. We do it to ourselves. And getting naked at Burning Man, which incidentally, they're not just naked people running everywhere at Burning Man.
No, there's not. Most people are
clothed.
Are clothed.
But there are places.
I always enjoyed the naked bike rider, though. I was always like, I'm just not gonna bare vulva on my bike seat. I'm just not gonna do it.
You do see the occasional naked biker. And I don't know if you did this, but when they burn the man, part of the celebration, if you want to do it, is running naked around the coals.
I didn't know that. I was up on an art car.
Yeah, so a lot of people, I've done it twice. You just run with strangers. The first time I did it, I was just like, I watched the man burn with a stranger, someone I met at some workshop, and she was from China, and she said, hey, let's run around the man. And I'm like, okay. So we just dropped our clothes, and she's like, where should we put our clothes? I'm like, I don't think you can put your clothes anywhere that's like safe. Let's just put them here in a pile because there's 100,000 people, and we're hoping that we can even find our clothes, let alone. She goes, do you think someone will take them? I'm like, I don't think so. But if someone takes them, we'll walk back to our camp and get clothes.
Yeah.
Like it was an interesting experience, but it's kind of joyous. There's no sexuality in it. No. It's just pure celebration.
No, everybody was like, oh, it's going to be, how many, you're going to have sex. There's the orgy dome. There's the this, the that. And I was like, I didn't see very much sexual energy anywhere. Everyone was just kind of being
I've never had sex in all the Burning Man I've been to. Never. Listen, I love Burning Man. I hope to go many times. I've convinced many of my friends to go.
Yeah, you were line in for me.
Well, I mean,
you were definitely line in for me.
Part of it is just have an experience.
Yeah.
You don't have to go every time like me, but if you push yourself to have an experience that in the unknown, good things might come out of it, understanding. But I like doing things every year that push my understanding of me, challenge my perspective on any topic, whether it's interacting with another person, interacting with myself, my aspirations, how I interact with the world, anything. It really kind of is one of those interesting, magical events that is set up in a way that it just seems to work. And honestly, every year I go, and every year I think, this is just total fucking chaos. Like it's just chaos. Like I don't know how many finds their camp, how they find where they're going, how they get through this dirt, how they get through all this stuff. And every year I'm just overwhelmed by like, it just works. I don't know.
Works.
It just works.
Yeah.
And you can't explain it to someone because they say, oh, it's a music festival and people are all naked and doing lots of drugs.
Right.
And I don't think that I need that in my life.
Right.
And those people are probably judging many things in their life, saying, I don't want to do that because this, without really knowing. It's kind of like one thing I did in the last couple of years, I had dead bees in my backyard. And I didn't know why, because I don't spray my hill and I don't do anything. And I just had a lot of dead bees, and they had like mangled legs. And so I found this beekeeper online who blogs about bees, and I called him up. I IM'd him and I said, can I pay you to educate me about bees for a day? And he's like, no. I'm like, no? You're like, this is what you do for a living. Like, you blog about bees? I'll pay you. He goes, I'm too busy. I said, oh, okay. He goes, but I give a master beekeeping class for beekeepers. But it's 6 weeks and it's lots of work, and they're already beekeepers. I said, well, can I sign up for that? He goes, well, you can. Are you a beekeeper? I'm like, I'm not a beekeeper, but I can read. And I can do homework, and I'm interested. And so I took that class, and it was the hardest class I've ever taken. It was so much work, but the takeaways from it was the humility of all the things that I assumed about bees that were just completely not true, and about all the things that exist in the lives and existence of bees that no one knows and no one will ever know. And the magic of how bees interact with each other. It was just a lesson in humility for me. Not just learning about bees, because now I know enough to be dangerous. I don't want to be a beekeeper, but I want to know about bees.
Enough to be dangerous. Beekeeping.
Beekeeping danger. But it was just how we just make so many assumptions about everything, whether it's Burning Man or whether it's about, going to this restaurant or dating that person or,
we're all assuming
this
things
career.
out of a judgment too a lot of the time.
Yeah,
like we could assume the best, but most people that I have seen in the world are assuming the worst
or just
before they're even experiencing it.
Or just be open.
Cases. Yeah.
Not even caring whether it's good or bad. Just be open to
maybe
whatever it is.
Maybe so.
Whatever it is, it's gonna be something. And not say it's going to be good, it's going to be bad.
I think that was a bit of my hiccup with Burning Man as well, is that I was expecting to be a hot bitch in the desert, John. Like, I wanted to be...
Yeah, but you were a hot bitch in the desert.
I was a hot bitch, but I wasn't in my pasties and my thigh highs and my fucking whip. I just wanted to be like, yes, I wanted all the pictures. Like, most of my pictures are selfies. Like, I thought there was a photographer that was going to follow me around all these art things. So it's interesting that I also got to see that. I'm like, oh, I like just expected it to be this thing and it's not this thing.
Yeah.
So there is like a little bit of disappointment in there. But if you're just going in being just accepting, absorbing in it, then you don't get that that little fragment.
That's the Byron Katie thing. It's like your expectations, you're setting, you're laying the groundwork before it even happens. It doesn't even exist. And you have already ideas in your mind of what it is. It's like your mind has written the story and you haven't even had the experience. And so when you get there, when it's not exactly like the story you wrote in your head, you're like, what the fuck? Even though that happens like virtually 100% of the time and nothing's ever exactly as you think it's going to be. And it's just the idea of clearing your head and being just open to everything. And then appreciating all of it and taking the wisdom from the challenges and the joy. Because underneath everything is understanding. And not letting anything knock you off your center because it was hard or wasn't exactly what you thought. Like, it should be interesting that it wasn't exactly what you thought. It should be help you understand your next decision now that you know that it wasn't what you thought. Now your next decision is even better because you have that knowledge. But it's not, hey, this actually isn't what I thought it was going to be. It's something different.
Be the truth that wisdom seeks is what just kind of popped in my head from you saying that.
Yeah, I mean, there's wisdom everywhere in everything. And
so finding the truth.
It's just, it's sitting with it. I don't think finding it,
truth.
like, like you should never, like, there's no search for it. You're just with it all the time.
Yeah, just with it.
You're just with it.
I'm not looking for shit.
No, there's no looking. You are in it.
Yeah.
You're part of it. So it's like saying, looking for myself. You're looking for yourself. Like, you're here.
Right here.
Everything is here.
Right here.
So you don't have to look anywhere. The only thing that you have to deal with is this moment. That's it.
Right.
There's no, like, past is gone. Future doesn't exist. It's just right this moment.
Yeah.
So it's like being with everything.
Right this moment.
Yeah, you're just
with
fractions.
Yeah.
You are sitting with fractions, every fraction. And there's no storyline to this.
Right.
And it's kind of really getting used to the idea that not writing the story before it happens, just being with the fractions and appreciating the fractions, which are the tiny things that ultimately build the narrative when it happens. But they're all like tiny pieces of it. And that's all we have. Everything else is imaginary.
Wow. Thank you, John. It was a great pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. I always enjoy talking with you, Ashley.
I hope to do it again sometime very soon.
Well, invite me back. I'll come.
Okay.
Thank you for doing this for other people, too.
Yeah.
'Cause we all think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's kind of my thing is I'm like, if I'm curious about it, there's got to be other people curious about it. So, yeah.
8 billion people wondering.
Yeah. Just be.
We can try.
We can try. Ciao.
Thank you.